Andre, I am really going to need your help today because in today's episode, I am going to massively struggle to find some left backs who want to sign for us. So can you do some scouting for me? Is that all right? You will? Brilliant. Well, make sure you use the OneFootball app, the sponsor of today's video. You can find all the up-to-date stats for players from across the world. You can see all of their goals, assists, key passes, everything like that. It's a really good scouting tool, actually. So if you feel like using it, would massively appreciate it if you could download the app from the top line of the description for absolutely free, Andre. Can you do that for me? You already found a player. Andrew Robertson. Yeah, Scottish left-back, I know him. He's a bit too expensive for us right now. Anyone else? Kieran Tierney, yeah, same sort of issue. A little bit too expensive for us. Aaron Hickey. Now, I'd like to bring Aaron Hickey in, but he's the most expensive out of all of them. He wants 74 grand a week in wages. You don't watch today's episode and you'll believe me. Honestly, you'll believe me, Andre. Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm looking forward to today's transfer special where, fingers crossed, we'll actually be making some decent transfers. First things first, I do want to apologise on the grounds that my voice is not as strong as it normally is. I had my COVID jab the other day and I think as a side effect, I've got a really bad throat. I don't know if that's a side effect or I've picked up a sore throat from somewhere else. I don't know. Could be anything, but it really hurts right now. So I'll try and keep talking to a minimum, but try and make today's episode as entertaining as possible. And of course, if you did enjoy today's episode or are looking forward to today's episode, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. So first things first, we need to analyse where we need to make some signings. And I think for that, we're going to go straight away basically to the squad depth chart, as you can see here. For our current formations, as you can see, this is the star ratings for all of our players currently at the club, and supposedly Thad McRae is the best striker we have, with Harry Storm behind him and Nisbet behind them, which is very interesting how it sort of has changed over the years. And supposedly, according to our assistant manager, Tony Docherty, who is he the best one to be asking this sort of thing about? Let's double check. He's only got 13 and 15 judging player ability and potential. There must be some better staff members around. The head of youth development, he's got 17 and 17. Maybe he's one to ask. Robbie Stockdale is not quite so good. Nicholas Hover is not quite so good. Paul Robinson is not that good either. Michael Cannon, not that good. Neil Thompson, even worse. I think the head of youth development guy is probably the best one to go for. So back onto here, the head of youth development, Brian, we'll get him on there, and he's changed it round a little bit. And he thinks that Thad McRae is not quite as good as the other guy thought he was going to be. So this actually says Ben Knight's our best striker. So actually, yes, I think whilst we wait for some more good strikers to come through, because we've got plenty of them, another striker might be quite good to have. I'm not really too fussed about touching the left wing. We've got La Cruz, we've got Jez Finley, we've got Diaz on that left-hand side. All of them looking very solid, so very happy with the left wing right now. Right wing, Ben Knight is looking pretty solid. But we could do with maybe a different person. Carlos Borges, we'll talk more about him later on, might be leaving. Into the centre of midfield, Tam Lumper is there, Winks is there, Admilson there apparently is. Admilson can play anyway, he's such a great player, but of course we've got Ferguson and Campbell too, so not really concerned about the centre of midfield just yet. Right backs, we've got Juan Torres and maybe Brian Portea can play there as well. Centre backs, we're absolutely fine with Enrique and Admilson, and of course Suva and Herrera there as well. Goalkeepers, Bazunu and Fuentalba are there as well. But left back is a big issue with Admilson. More of a centre back or a centre mid than a left back in my opinion. So for me, I'm going to reiterate what I was saying in the past few episodes. I do think a striker and a left back are the main priorities, but a right winger wouldn't be too bad either. If we look at the squad as well and sort it by contract expiry date, as you can see, these players here highlighted in blue have got contracts expiring soon. And actually, I don't think I want to give contracts to all of them. Now, Jim McBangold, I'm definitely going to give him a contract. He's a young 17-year-old, 2.5-star current ability, plenty of potential, looks like a very good player. So straight away, we're going to give him a new contract. And because he's so young, we'll kind of give him mostly what he wants. It's not going to be too much of a big issue. 1.3 grand a week, he loves that. Easy contract. I also think that Ferguson and Bazunu both deserve new contracts as well. We'll start off with Ferguson because I'd rather keep him around at the club, although he might want to be a star player or something like that. Regular starter's fine. Okay, brilliant. He wants a nice little contract. Let's get rid of the big wage rise as well. And he wants $5.5 grand a week. You love to see. What's he currently on? He wants a small contract wage increase. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's get rid of the unused substitute fee. Appearance fee, let's drop it down to like $7.50 instead. And we can leave those other bonuses in there for winning various cups because that's fine. You can get money if you want to win that. We may have to push the agent fee up a little bit just to get him to sign that at 15 grand instead. Keep the wage the same, suggest, and he's absolutely happy with it. You love to see it. Thank you, Lewis. Bazunu, though, might be a little bit more difficult to interest in a new contract. He is our number one, but hopefully won't be our number one for too much longer. But we'll get him on a new contract as a first choice keeper. Let's say that. Suggest he's happy with that. Of course, Florian Muller is down as a star player, which is obviously a little bit weird. But he wants a 4-year deal on 12 grand a week. He's currently on, I think, nearly 9 grand a week. So if we can just bring that down to like 10, get rid of the unused substitute fee. You can have a big clean sheet bonus if you want to, because I don't mind that. Or let's bring it down a little bit, 2.5 and 2k for the appearance. Suggest he wants a little more. Let's bring the bonuses down again. 10.5 grand a week. Suggest he's happy. Good deal. Okay, so that's Bazunu, Ferguson and McBangled sorted. What do we want to do with Harry Winks, who's 30 years old now? A new contract will be expensive, and he'll want to, and he's going to decline. He's going to start declining at some point soon. The thing is, he's probably the second best. Take away Admilson, he's probably our second best centre mid, but he's a leading player still. Played very well last season over 19 games. I think this depends more on the type of contract he wants. So he's on basically 10 grand a week right now as it's not going to tell us what he is, to be fair. Off a new contract, he wants to be a regular starter. Let's make him a squad player. Suggest he's happy with squad player. Now, if he wants only just a little bit more money over 4 years. So we'll have him until he's 34, but maybe we could sell him. If we try and bring the wage down, if we bring it to lower than what he's on right now, leave that unused substitute fee in there maybe at 1 grand. Bring the appearance down to 2. He's locked in an optional contract extension in his final season. If we can just push the agent fee up a little bit, bring the loyalty bonus down, suggest... So he's now going to get a little aggy about this sort of thing. Let's try and bring the bonuses down and the wage down to 8k. Loyalty to 225. Suggest he's not going to 9k. Let's try. We really want to try and bring him down a little bit, I think. Suggest he's happy on a smaller contract. I think that's a win. Let's keep Harry Winks at the club. Carlos Borges, though, and Benjamin Owusu. Now, Owusu's not really turned out how we thought he was going to. He's not that great. He's not played brilliantly either. I think Owusu we get rid, particularly because the other guy we brought in around the same time, Pavlik, has developed quite well. The issue with him is that his crossing and dribbling is atrocious. That's the one area where I don't really like. Now, we will keep Pavlik around, and as it stands right now, for me, he's going to be our first choice this season. But I certainly think we could do an awful lot better than Pavlik. So I do think that Owusu is a candidate to leave the club. So transfer, offer to clubs. Let's just offer him out for an unspecified amount. Offer to clubs, get him out there. And Carlos Borges is another one who is incredibly fast, has decent crossing and dribbling. It's kind of it. And while he does play well for us, it's not well enough. It's not the level that we need him to play at. And given that he's valued at £8 million, and he is currently wanted by Shabab Al Ali in, I think it's Saudi, or is it Qatar for those guys? I think it might be Qatar. It is UAE. I got it completely wrong. Either way, we're going to offer him out, I think. Offer to clubs, unspecified amount. and see if anyone wants him. Is there anyone else wanted, actually, while we think about this? You can't really see it because all the holiday information's in the way, but oops, I clicked on the wrong thing there. Suva is wanted by Empoli. Taggart is wanted on loan by Hamilton. Fuentalba is wanted by Burnley. Robert Didau wanted on loan. Herrera is wanted by Burnley and Leicester. Tamat Lumper is wanted by Man City, Marseille and Napoli. Harry Storm's wanted on loan. Juan Torres is wanted by Leeds and Shabab as well. Portea is wanted by Hamilton. And Caio Henrique is wanted by Stoke and Leipzig. I'll be honest, none of these players I really want to see leave the club. We've sorted by current ability. Nisbet is a weird one. I don't think I'd say no to someone if they came in bidding £15 million plus for Nisbet, on the grounds that last season was his worst season for us by a long way. Average rating was actually his highest, but in terms of goal contributions, by far his lowest. So I won't offer him out, but if someone bids for Nisbet, I'd think about it. And Brian Portea is a weird one as well, who just hasn't quite lived up to the hype, or even really improved, to be fair. He's a good squad player to have around, but he's not the best, is he? Straight away, bids are being made for Owusu, and as you can see, Cagliari have met that £1 million valuation. How much did we buy him for? I don't think we bought him £55,000. Like, it's going to represent some good value. For me, I think we may just accept it, maybe. But what are these other bids, right? So Hibs are putting in, if Hibs can match a £1 million bid, you can go to Hibs, lad. I'm going to accept the £1 million as well from Cagliari, because £1 million seems fair enough. If Mallorca, do they want to put their price up? They don't, but they'll give us 20%, so I'll accept that one as well. Now, this one is installments. Okay, so installments, 6 monthly. No, I don't. That's not enough money up front. I want the money now. Reject that. I presume Hamilton are on a similar sort of bids. They're on 4 installments of. I'd rather have the money now rather than installments. I'm going to reject these ones with installments, so I guess it's just the ones who've offered the money up front. But some big bids are being made for Carlos Borges, and Shabab have put in, or Shabab Al Ali, sorry, putting in an 8.25 off the bat, which makes me want to reject all of these and transfer offer to clubs 10 million. See if anyone bids 10 million. Stoke are making a big bid for Caio Henrique. We are not going to accept that at all. We're going to offer him instead a new contract and see if we can get rid of that minimum fee release clause, but he doesn't want to actually sign a new contract right now. So £23.5 million is that release fee clause for him. If someone meets that, Caio Henrique's going. £10 million. No one wants Carlos Borges. So we start to bring it down. 9 million. See if someone bids that. Shabab Al Ali want all of our players, and I think that we have sold players to them in the past as well. Transfer history for these guys. I swear we have sold them. Tom McIntyre being one of them. He's gone to Southampton now, Tom McIntyre, interestingly. Valued at a lot of money. However, we know he went there. I'm sure someone else went there. Or maybe it just was Tom McIntyre. Was there no one else? No one else, apparently, just Tom McIntyre. Either way, they want Juan Torres right now, but you can't have him because he's one of our favourite players, so we're keeping him at the club. And no one wants Carlos Borges as well, so we might just have to go back and accept the 8.25. Let's just drop it back down to that and see if Shabab still wants him. Which, by looks of things, they do. So do a team in Serie B, so 8.25 million is what we're going to get for him. The other ones can be rejected. Now, this is pretty interesting. Leicester are coming in for Johnny Herrera at 7.5 million. Johnny Herrera played 23 league games last season, 7.9 average rating. He's 21. Technically is not that great. Tackling's pretty good, but his marking for a 6'7" guy, 11 heading is abysmal, basically. I would listen if they just up their bid to 10 million or so. I'd be listening to bids for Johnny Herrera, I think. He's not a first choicer, right? He's the 5th best centre-back we've got, apparently. I don't think he's going to reach that potential either at 21. I think he's left it a bit too late. He's not going to be that great. If they just up their bids a little more. I'm going to reject it. But if I go offer to clubs and if I put 12.5 on the table, does anyone want to buy that? The answer is no. No one wants to buy in on that. So transfer offer to, let's bring it down to 10 and see where we go from there. In the meantime, Marseille are making a £13 million bid for Tam McLumper. Sorry lads, you cannot have him at all. In terms of the European reputation rankings, the division still stays 9th in the division reputation rankings, so it's still not quite as reputable as the Eredivisie, the Portuguese leagues, even the Russian league. However, as you can see, we've not been given a news article about it, but we have gone from 8th to 7th ahead of Portugal now, so we are 7th in the coefficient rankings. Aberdeen as a club, though, has risen 12 places to 24th in the individual club coefficient rankings, which is nice. We are still behind Celtic, but we are right up there, not behind, or not far behind, some of the big boys of Europe. Oh, Mallorca. Mallorca are coming in with £10 million for Johnny Herrera. I said I'd listen at 10 million, didn't I? I'd said I'd listen. For a fifth choice centre-back, essentially, is what he is. I think that's probably a good deal. We bought him for $500,000. I'm going to accept it. I wasn't planning on letting him go, but given that clubs want to pay a decent amount of money for him, as Burnley now offering only 9, but no, I've been offered £10 million elsewhere. You're not going to Burnley. But seeing as those bids came in, it just opened my eyes a little bit, and I think it is a good deal. You know, maybe with hindsight down the line, we can look back and think, oh, that was a bad deal if he turns out to be incredible. But I just don't think he will be, if I'm honest with you. So for Owusu, for Borges, and for Johnny Herrera leaving the club, call that £20 million in total. That will give us, as you can see here on the overall balance, the transfer budget, just here you can see, that will give us £42 million to spend. So let's get spending that money. We're looking at left backs right now of all ages, and the first thing that really strikes me is that Luke Shaw is available. Luke Shaw is available, is 30, but is available pretty cheap for only £4.4 million. Wages will be expensive, but he wouldn't be bad to bring in for a season or two whilst Pavlik gets a bit better. But you probably want a better player coming in anyway, wouldn't you? There's a Mexican chap here at Genk in Belgium, but his crossing and dribbling isn't a whole lot better, and his physicals are pretty rubbish too. Armando was a wonderkid. He's turned 21 now, so that wonderkid personality or media description has gone, I believe. He's now just described as a fullback. But again, crossing and dribbling is not particularly high. I want some good crossing and dribbling. I don't think Francisco's got he's got terrible crossing and dribbling. What about this guy at Porto? Not the best in the world, but better than other players. He's 18 years old as well. 5-star potential. Ask agent about availability. I want 24 grand a week, which is a lot. And Porto want a big wage for him. He's got, as we can't see any release fee clauses right now. Let's just put like a £7.5 million offer on the table. They want 90. Okay, we're not going to get this guy then, are we? That might actually bring us back to Luke Shaw, you know. Get Luke Shaw in for a season or two. Or do we go for the other Caio Henrique? Although I don't think Rangers are going to want to let him go. Ask agent about availability. 14 to 20 million. I don't think he's worth 14 to 20 million. If we look at potential, sort it by potential, the thing is we need someone now. We don't need someone we need someone now, which is why that guy from Portea would be great to bring in because he is very good already. There is a chap here at River who is got a release fee clause of 6.25 million, 5-star potential. The scouts seem to really like him, but the crossing and dribbling is just terrible. And he's got a pretty poor personality and a mercenary as well. You don't really like that. Maybe what we need to do is get rid of the interest in transfer bit and go back to look for... I mean, a lot of these players won't ever want to join us, though. Andrew Robertson. Ask agent about availability. Doesn't want to join us under any circumstances. Fair enough. Where is Kieran Tierney? Can we ask him? Ask agent about availability. Doesn't want to join us. Where's the other guy? Aaron Hickey. Is he around somewhere? I think he's a left back. He's currently playing for Al Ain still. and does look all right. Transfer, ask agent about availability. Will want to come to us on 74 grand a week. We can afford the transfer, we just can't afford his wages. I mean, it's maybe worth putting a bid in, right? 5 million. Suggest they want 7. Let's get rid of all of these stupid negotiation things and put 6.5 on the table, which they're happy with. The contract will be too expensive. In the meantime, I'm pretty interested in Jan Cavalcanti still. I still want to bring him to the club. I still think he'd be a great striker for us. We did see that he had a release fee clause of 17 million, but it says here the max asking price is 13. And he's wanted by Leicester and Inter, which is annoying. I think if we go for that 13.5, suggest... Oh, they're not going to accept that. So it is going to be 17.75. Luckily, though, the bid for Aaron Hickey has been accepted. The issue with Aaron Hickey, he'd be a great player to bring in, right? I'd love to bring him into the club. The issue is the wages. Estimated wages, 62 to 82,000 pounds. Important player is fine. It's just the 74 grand a week in wages. It's too much. I mean, 74 grand a week. Do we get £500,000? Do we? I think it's £500,000 to spend on wage. I can less than £500,000. So what he wants there, 74 grand a week, is literally over 15% of our entire wage bill for one player who's not even that good. It's too expensive. I'm not going to ruin the club by bringing him in. I'm not doing it. Jan Cavalcanti, though, I am prepared to ruin the club financially for him with a £17 million bid. Start negotiations. Star player seems fine. Get rid of the big wage rise. Get rid of that bring more attackers into the club. He's happy with... He's not happy. Okay, big wage rise might have to be in there. Okay, he's happy with that. He's got a release fee clause in there locked in by his agent. We're being suggested to give him 32 grand a week. Suggest he wants 45 grand a week. I don't really want to give him 10% of our wage bill, if I'm honest with you. Yes, he's a 19-year-old wonder kid, but financially, does it make sense? It's a huge financial outlay. You can have the bonuses for the goals, that's fine. The goal bonus itself is ludicrous, as is the appearance fee. They are both absolutely ludicrous. Let's get rid of the unused substitute fee. Goal bonus 5, appearance fee 5. I mean, that's still ludicrous, but it's got to be up there. The wage is the biggest thing for me, though. Let's just bring it down to 35. Suggest, and he's going to come back and want so much money. 30. If he scores loads of goals, he'll be worth it. But I don't think he's... I just don't... I'm reluctant to pay this much money. 7.5 and 6.5. Suggest. He's agreed to that, to be fair. Which I didn't think he would. I wanted to click on him to see him again. Hang on. Your offer's not been finalised. I don't want to send it yet. Not yet. I want to look at this guy again. Finishing 14. Remember, this guy's 19 as well. Model, citizen, personality, wonder kid. We know he's going to be good. Wonder kid means he's between 18 and 21. He's got at least 100 current ability and potentially over 150 current ability. So we know if he reaches current ability, he's going to be one of the better players in the game, right? First touch 20, you love to see it. Insane. Technique 17, you love to see it. Passing is it makes a very good attacking midfielder, to be fair. We could retrain him to do that, but I'd rather not. Pace is low. Physicals will improve, though. Finishing will improve. Yes. Yes. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Particularly if Inter Milan wants him as well. Owusu, though, is the first player to leave the club. Thank you for your contributions, Benjamin. Just a shame you're rubbish. Carlos Borges now set to leave the club as well. Thank you for all your contributions, Carlos. It's just a shame you're not as good as Ben Knight. £70,000 a week is on there. No wonder all our players want to join this club because they just offer so much money. Leicester now trying to get in Tam Lumper for 14 million. You cannot have him. He is not leaving the club. Oh. Well, this wasn't planned. Stoke have met the release fee clause for Caio Henrique. 23 million. No, please no. That's not good. I mean, it's good profit. It's good profit. But that is sad. Why would he want to go to Stoke, first and foremost? He can play Champions League football for us, right? Or he can go to Stoke and play Premier. Stoke have been behind my head. Look, you can see that they're a relegation threatened team, up and down, yo-yo team. That's what I'm looking for, a yo-yo team. Why would he want to go there? Caio, come on, contract, offer new contract. He doesn't think the squad's strong enough. I mean, it's stronger than Stoke's squad, I'll give you that. We're much better than Stoke. Why would you... Don't ruin your career by going to Stoke. I'd be happy if you went to Leipzig. Don't go to Stoke, lad. Don't do it. Man City now to Tam Lumper, but not for a lot of money, so we are not going to accept any of that. Although he's obviously very cross he can't go to Man City. Ferguson, can you sort this one out for me, please, for Tam Lumper? And he's now happy to stay at the club. You love to see it. Johnny Herrera is set to join Mallorca for 10 million. And even if Caio Henrique goes, I still think that's a good deal. I still think we take the money for that. I still think we let him go. I'm just praying he rejects. I'm praying he rejects. That's all we can do. Pray that he rejects. Also, we're coming up to the 1st of July now, which is when everyone else around the world's contract finishes. So as we still keep rejecting bids for Sean McRae and Joe Coultas, they can't go anywhere else. We're keeping it at the club for now. I'm hoping... Come on! You love to see it. I knew he'd do it. If he went to Stoke, I would have gone mental. If he'd gone to Stoke, I would have gone mental. Caio Henrique has rejected the contract offer from them. Caio, you beautiful, beautiful man. Beautiful man. He's still wanted by PSG. Okay, well, please, can we just... Please sign a new contract. Please. Please. Oh, I don't want... If PSG make a bid for him, that's him gone. Completely gone then. What's the phrase? We're out of trouble but not out of the woods or something like that. Or I don't... What is the phrase? I think the phrase just is, according to Google, just not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet with him. Until the transfer window shuts, we are not out of the woods with Caio Henrique. Or is it like the out of the pan into the fire sort of thing? You know, we're out of the pan with Stoke. Stoke's the pan, but the fire is PSG and your Leipzig and stuff like that. Now that we can stop panicking about centre-backs so much, let's go back onto the left-back issue. Although I don't think anything's really changed on the left-back issue at all. I mean, there's a guy here called Lincoln Correa from Santos, who physically is an absolute specimen. Look at that for physicals. Technicals, ignore those. I think the reason the scouts have rated him so highly is because his physicals are through the roof. Technically and mentally, he's not that great. Doesn't stop me wanting to make a bid for him, though. He can run fast for a long time and is very agile in doing it. Good work rate as well. Everything else is terrible. How much... He's also called Lincoln as well, which also makes me want to sign him. Although they're not going to sell him for 1.1 million apparently. Release fee clause is 12. I doubt they're going to sell him for anything less than that. So I don't think we'll make the bid for him because he is terrible apart from his physicals, but I like the look of him at least. French-born Joe Perez, he could be quite good, you know. Physically not as good as Lincoln Correa, but does have much better mentals and technicals and can play anywhere on the left-hand side. Not quite 5-star potential, but He could be a good option to bring in at least. How much do they want for him? Let's put a £5 million bid and suggest, and they want 46, so no. It's just annoying because we need like a Champions League quality left back, and we can't get one. We have the money to bring one in as well. That's the thing. We've got the money, it's just that they don't want to join us, or we're being priced out of it. So actually we don't have the money, do we? Santos also rejecting the bid for Lincoln Correa. We won't go back in for him because I'm just being a bit stupid with that one. We're also going to pick our team to go on pre-season tour to Australia. As they're now in Australia with no friendlies scheduled. What's this about? Multiple friendlies. Let's get some training camp friendlies going on, please, against some nearby teams touring near. Dundee are apparently touring in Australia, as are apparently St Mirren. And then similar. Why can we not just choose Australian teams? Seems a little strange. I don't really understand that. Can we just not just find... Yeah, Australia. I guess maybe they've got a different season to us or something. Melbourne City, please. Can we pick you for the friendly? Proposed friendly seniors. In fact, before we get Dundee and St Mirren, let's just try and get Australian teams instead. So Melbourne Victory as well. Proposed friendly senior squad. And then Dundee. Change you to Western Sydney Wanderers, who've got continental reputation. Proposed friendlies. I think they might reject it. I think it's in the middle of their season maybe. And that's why the friendlies haven't come up as you can see. They've rejected them. Although apparently the next day, these... What? The next... Okay, well, they have been accepted then. They were Wait, have they been accepted and then cancelled? Yes. Why? What's going on there? And again, they've been accepted but then cancelled. Well, in that case, we are flying all the way to Australia for a pre-season friendly to play against... not even... Hang on. Multiple friendlies, please, on these days against teams touring Dundee, St Mirren. Although apparently St Mirren and Dundee don't want to play against us. What is the point in this? So we might not be able to get some friendlies in Australia, but we can sign Jan Cavalcanti. You'll love to see it. He will be joining us hopefully on the 1st of July. For me, he'll come in to be our deep lying forward this season, and then we'll probably have like Harry Storm, Fab McRae and Kevin Nisbet as the advance forward, sort of rotating around. But Jan should be the future, I reckon. He looks very, very good to me. We've been chasing him for a little while, and hopefully it's money well spent. I think that part of my issue is that I am expecting far too much crossing and dribbling from my left back. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I'm just expecting far too much. And so maybe what we need to do is just stop thinking about the crossing and dribbling. Think about all of it. And this guy is available on a free transfer as a left back. I do know this. Where's he come from? And why is he on a free... Right, the scouts have rated him highly. We know not that much about him, other than his dribbling could be 11. And at the moment, that seems good enough to... Right, quickly. Let's just get him in. It's a free transfer. 12 grand a week. Oh, he's not going to get a work permit though, is he? Doesn't have the required points. So that's... But I thought on here it does say work permit likely. Maybe that's a lie, I don't know. But you know, why not? It probably failed to get a work permit. Okay. We can't get this guy then. That's rather frustrating. Because apparently he's the best available to us right now. Max age 23. Get rid of the interest in transfer bit. I think we might just have to put a big outlay out for someone. It's so annoying that he's there now. Have our scouts just suddenly found him, or I don't know why? I don't know where it's come from. It's a weird one. I mean, why not? Let's just offer him a contract anyway, right? Offer him a contract anyway, and just kind of see what happens. Maybe get rid of the release fee clause in there. Suggest. Give him what he wants, because I don't think he's going to sign for us, but we'll offer him a contract. Oh, I've also realised what I've done. I've got work permit chance is not likely. Now, is likely, please. is likely. We want to get people into the club, please. So that's why that guy suddenly came up, because all my filters previously have been is work permit likely. Some I got changed to is not. So that's why he suddenly came up with that Norwegian guy. Okay, my bad on that one then. But suddenly loads of players are now on this list, which is quite good. Surely we can convince someone to join us. You'd hope. Maybe we do go back in for the guy from River. And we never went in for the first place, did we, actually? Despite his terrible personality and lack of crossing and dribbling, everything else is quite good as a left-back. For 6 mil, it might be alright, you know. And we have to try and tutor him out of being a mercenary. You know what? It feels like the best option we have right now. It just feels like the best option. 6.25, we can afford it. We'll have to put a lot of work into him. But nothing else is really looking that great on the left-back front right now, which is very annoying. But at least he only wants a small contract, apparently, which is quite nice. He has locked in a release fee clause, but again, 23 is fine in that regard. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. 7 grand, 1 grand, 1 grand. In fact, you can have more for a clean sheet. Swap those two over pre, basically. Suggest he's happy. Get him in. I mean, to be fair, actually, if you ignore the crossing and dribbling, he is a sick player. He looks very, very good. It's just the crossing and dribbling that is ridiculously low. Oh, big bids coming in for Fuentalba. Schalke, £17 million for our essentially backup keeper. Let's compare him with Bazunu right now, and it's getting closer and closer, ever so slightly closer. It's going to be closest to who's going to be the first choice for me, in my opinion. So I don't want to let him go, but that's a lot of money. A lot of money. Reject it, though. Oh, no. The rumours are coming back. Caio Henrique. Southampton want him this time, apparently. Well, do you want to talk new contracts? He wants to talk a new contract. Right. Star player straight away. The release fee clause is locked in there, though, at 19 million, which is less than what we paid for. If I'm honest with you, I'd rather keep the bigger release fee clause in. I'd rather not give him a new contract. It's the release fee clause that does us every single time. It's so annoying. David Broughton. He's a right winger available for loan from Tottenham, who is wanted by Celtic. Now, obviously, we got rid of Carlos Borges, we could do with a right winger. Temporarily, let's try and get this guy in on loan for the season. We'll contribute his wages, that's fine. Let's do that. I think he could be a good player to bring in as backup to Ben Knight. I am currently scouting tons of right wingers to try and buy at some point, but given the budget being depleted a little bit by the striker and left back situation, it might have to be like next season or January we look to sign someone permanently. Oh. So I've just been like pressing continue, waiting for this new contract to be signed for Maxi de Campo. Turns out he's not coming to us. He's decided to stay at River. Right, we've also missed out on the guy for a free transfer that we wouldn't have got anyway because of a work permit stuff, but he's gone to Napoli instead. So today the luck's just not with us really, is it? Or maybe it is, just all of our luck has been used up on, of course, Caio Henrique not leaving the club. So maybe what we do is just spend a lot of money on a left back instead. Maybe I need to just stop looking for good deals on cheaper players. Maybe we just try and really splash the cash, because at this point we are running out of options, and there's a good wonder kid here who's got a max asking price of 45 million. 4-star. He looks, well, he's crossing. The thing is, I just look at the crossing and everything else is very good. It's just the crossing and dribbling that I look at, which is pretty poor. But he's quite good, to be fair, across multiple positions. If we ask his agent about availability, he wants £88,000 a week. That's the biggest thing that he does want to play for us, apparently, for 24 to 47 million pound transfer deal. Like 20 million and then add installments, 3 installments of 10 million suggest, and they want 31 up front, which we can't afford, and 16 down the line. So let's bring it back to like 20, right? And 20 down the line? Is 40 million? I'll finalise it. He wants 88 grand a week, so I don't think we're going to be able to afford it anyway. At least the £40 million bid's been accepted for Colin. Good old Colin. Thing is, he's going to want a lot of money, isn't he? He's locked in all of these things as well that we can't get rid of now. And he wants £115,000 a week, which we can't afford. Maybe we've got one final roll of the dice here. 21-year-old Florian Muller, a left back currently playing for Schalke, who is apparently interested in signing for us. Looks pretty decent across the board where it matters. Maybe not so much in some of the technicals, but transfer, make an offer. Can we suggest 10 million? Suggest 50? At this point, I'm giving up. I think I'm going to edit out literally everything. Every single left back who looks good, we just can't sign because one, they want stupid amounts of money and wages, or two, they cost stupid amounts of money to sign that we can't afford. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. My throat hurts as well. I'm feeling under the weather as well. I'm not feeling great. This is annoying me as well. It's taken me 2 days to record this as well because I'm just getting so annoyed that we just can't seem to sign anyone. Like, there's plenty of good players out there we just can't afford or do anything with, and it's getting to me. And I think given on how I'm planning on editing literally like day 2 of me trying to do this, it's basically going to be just a couple of left backs. I've not even touched the right backs in the editing because the right backs, the right wingers, because that's even more infuriating. This has been a terrible transfer window. I mean, the good news is we have kept the nucleus of the team that got us to a Champions League quarter-final last season. And we've not really improved it much. If anything, maybe we've actually lost a bit of talent up front. Obviously, we've not got Dale back because he won't come back on loan to us. Obviously, we've got Jan Cavalcanti coming in, but he's nothing special yet. At least he will be, just he's not quite Dale yet. But saying that, I have just seen this Serbian striker here who has got 17 to 19 finishing. Wow. He looks pretty decent from what we can see here. 5 caps for Serbia, and supposedly will only cost us 3.4 to 7 million. We might be able to rescue something a little bit here, maybe. Make an offer. If we put this up to 4.5 million, make the offer. Let's see what they come back with. The scouts always pull something out of the bag right at the end, but I'm suddenly thinking everything's going to fail. And yes, it's not really a position that we need, but it's a bit more money spent, and literally, as I was saying, we might not have improved our front line. If anything, we may have taken away from it. This could save it. We just haven't improved the right wing or the left back position, which is kind of where we needed to improve as well. So they want 4.5 million. They want an extra million after so many league appearances and 40% of profit, which we can't get rid of. Let's reject that quickly. Press continue and go back in there, make the same offer, but get rid of all of the potential ways to make money in the future. So transfer, make an offer. That same deal's there. We can now get rid of the 40%. I'll put this up to £1 million, right? Suggest, they accept. Okay, make the offer. He now wants to talk contracts with us. Let's start talking contracts, and he's very happy to be on 11. The release fee clause is frustrating. That's locked in. We cannot get rid of that. But he could be good for a season. He could be good for a season, maybe. We can obviously try and renegotiate contract with him later down the line. Let's just give him what he wants for now, essentially, I think. And then we can talk contracts later on. We're coming up to our last friendly before we start back in the league. Like, you can see that this has just been such a long, drawn-out process. And we've had no success at all with anything, basically. I mean, essentially, what we've done here today is sign 2 strikers, and striker is not really a position that we needed, but it would actually be an improvement on the strike force of last season, bringing Jan Cavalcanti in and this Serbian guy. Maybe actually it has been a positive transfer window. We've just not got the players in positions that we wanted. What I will do though is make it my mission from here on out to just get reports on virtually every single left back in the world between now and January. So in January, we can make a good deal for a left back, hopefully. But here he is, Elijah Sabin, or Shaban, is probably how you pronounce the surname with the accent on there. He is signing for us for £5.5 million potentially. 4.5 up front, maybe another million down the line. And, well, He looks fantastic with 17 finishing, 17 first touch and 16 dribbling. Pace a little bit low. I didn't really see that before, but if that's the only complaint we've got, I think we've got a pretty decent player on our hands here. I like this. I like this quite a lot. I think that's a very, very good deal, actually. So him and Jan Cavalcanti are our new strike force, and I think that's fantastic. Obviously, Thad McRae, Nisbet, and Harry Storm will be the backups too. And of course, we've got some very good young players down the line. Your James Fotheringham, your Damien Woods, and stuff like that. They're all going to be fantastic players. But right now, we need players to score goals in the Champions League, and I think Jan and Shaban will do it. So we brought 2 strikers in. It's not really what we wanted, though. We wanted more. And where's Borges on there? Did he go last season, technically? Well, Borges counts as a last season transfer for some reason. So we've spent 22 million, but we've sold about 20 million pounds worth of player as well. So we've pretty much broken even, actually, which is quite nice. But we are going to finish things up here today. It's not really been the greatest transfer window, but we brought in 2 very good strikers, and I think that's probably decent. The Champions League group stage draw is on the 27th of August, and the 27th of August is just before the Celtic game. So I think next episode we'll come back for that draw, Celtic, and maybe even the first Champions League group stage game, which might come after the Kilmarnock game, something like that. Around this sort of time, we'll come back next time. So thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.